We're in a place where 1 in every 6 households is worth more than $1 million US. We're in Singapore. This is Untethered, and I'm Wesley Green.
Wow, I'm Erica, guys. And wow, wow, I didn't know that one. Holy crap.
That's a statistic I read this morning. I wish I could remember where I heard it, but if I go back and find it was a poor source, I'll correct it in a future episode. But I was researching what to do today and ran across that, and I'm running on a little sleep, so I don't remember where I got it from, but I'm pretty sure it's not unbelievable at all. This place is very rich, very a lot of money.
Well, dang, Crazy Rich
Which
Asians.
Is why,
that's where he was from in the movie. I mean, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We might even take a minute this episode to talk about who should be traveling in both this place and Malaysia. And now I'm confused. It says Marina Mall. I have to check the map. Sorry, I didn't want to do this so early in the episode, but okay. All right. Let's go a bit. We've got a bit of a walk, as with a lot of places that have a lot of money. Transit is not fantastic here. I should say transportation is not, because in most places I would have just gotten a cab from the station. You know, they got a great train system, but things are kind of pricey here. It was a 2-minute cab ride, something like $6 or $7 US. That leads me to that first point. You've got I'm loading. Oh, hi.
I was like, you were paused there for a minute. So wait, how much was the cab ride?
It was like $7 for a 2-minute cab ride.
That sounds like when I was in Atlanta, when we left the Claremont, it was like $10 to go a couple of blocks.
Right, yeah. It's on par with the US. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And if you're unfortunate enough to need to take the cab, then you're going to be paying out the wazoo. But I didn't need to take one. We're going to have a few minutes chat anyway, and we should be at the gardens. And also, this whole episode is walking. So why not start now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this episode, we are in Singapore, and this shot is, I think, too good to miss. I'm going to flip the camera around, and we're going to get started seeing this crazy place. I mean, it's pretty. You were just saying, you know, this is a pretty city. It's nice. They have they've done a good job. They put a lot of money into it, and it looks nice. Marina Gardens Drive. That has to be us because we're going to the gardens first. That's the first stop today. The gardens, from what I can tell, are free. Oh, I was going to say we're doing a walk today because hopefully not much along this walk is going to cost money, which is why I can do it. But it's also a nice way to just see the city. We're down right. We're right at the marina, the water. Well, that one shot of buildings was nice, and now we're in a jungle. Anyway, yeah, so we're at the water, and we're going to walk in towards the city, the center of the city, and hopefully hit a few stops along the way that are good things to see. I don't want to promise too much because I really don't know anything about Singapore. This honestly was kind of what I wanted to do with the show in general. Although my goal long term was to stay in a place for a while and get to know it. We're not going to be staying here very long. In fact, I'm leaving this afternoon, so that's not very long.
Mm-hmm.
But Singapore is a place I know next to nothing about. I have been through here twice before, and when I say through, I mean once on a connecting flight where I just had maybe 6 to 8 hours or something like that, and that's enough to hop the train into the city. And I got to see it, so I, got some pictures from that time. And then when we came in this time, when we came to the Malaysia, we flew into Singapore because the Singapore flights were so cheap. But as soon as we got here, we immediately headed for the Malaysian border because, again, as aforementioned, it's expensive here. That's something. The meadow entrance. Well, I would love to be going in an entrance right now, but there's a jungle between me and that side of the road, and no way to get across. I mean, honestly, with all the things I've heard about Singapore, I'm kind of nervous to walk across. Right?
Is it less traffic than Malaysia? I mean, it looks okay right there. It looks decent. It looks
certainly
like
okay.
We're in Atlanta.
Oh, I'm not afraid of traffic. No, not at all. I'm afraid of a citation.
All this stuff. Because I was freaking out about that thick bush that was over to the side of you right there. I was like, someone could come out and go, rawr.
They're very rules oriented here. So, I don't know how they react to people just walking across the street. It's easy to get a walking across the street ticket in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look like anyone's out there paying attention anyway.
Certainly. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought in Salt Lake City when I walked across the street to get to their transit line. And then the cops just popped up out of nowhere, and they were like, "You get a walking across the street ticket. I hope you feel terrible for what you've done." I was like, "What are you talking about?" That was one of my last straw moments in the U.S. I was like, "You guys are ridiculous."
Hey, that was neat. Look down in that water again. Do you see the reflection of the clouds in the water right there? That's
yeah,
so
like
pretty.
That's because I'm an artiste.
An artiste.
Well, what was claimed to be an entrance that seems to be only for cars. So not to beat that horse too much, but yeah. Let's walk along this bicycle path and see if that goes anywhere. Malaysia, I would say you don't have to be rich to go to Malaysia, but I cannot imagine you will not have a good time if you don't want to pay a lot for long cab rides. Not that they're expensive per mile. It's not like you're like here. I was talking about 2 minutes for $7. No, you can go a long ways, but the problem is you have to go a long ways every time you go somewhere. Everywhere I went in Malaysia. Maybe with the exception of Kuala Lumpur, but it's such a big city, probably that too, and you'd be in traffic as well. But yeah, it's very American in how strewn out the development is. So you either have to rent a car, and I know nothing about renting a car in Malaysia. I don't know if you can or if it's expensive. I have no clue. But I know everything is geared toward being in a car. So you either need to be in a cab or you need to be in a rental car if you're a tourist. And I mean that certainly knocks it out of the standard Southeast Asia loop of countries where where backpackers tended to go the backpacker trail. Malaysia is not on the backpacker trail, and that is precisely why. It's very American in its transportation systems. Not quite as bad as the U.S. because they do have trains. You can take long distance trains, and they have decent long distance buses. I shouldn't say decent. They have excellent long distance buses, really. Ones I took were nice and well run and on time and clean for the most part. Yeah. So that's great, but getting around a city, not so great.
Wow.
They have good transit here, but not great. Like when I got to the last stop here, it wasn't easy to get to that final destination. And also, a 15-minute walk doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not. But I'm dripping with sweat now just because of the humidity. So it's not a lot of fun to walk any kind of distance here. There you go. Let's shift topic to what's been going on with my China visa situation.
Yes.
I feel like you should catch us up because I don't know what you know.
Okay. So when you were leaving let's start off in Malaysia, in Penang. Okay. You were trying to get to the visa application office for China in Penang, and it was closed. And it was uncertain because they said, oh, yeah, you can mail in your stuff. And I'm like, or these people could just be there. I don't know. That would be great since it's an office, but whatever. Like somebody could be there to assure you that it's being processed. So you're like, well, I'll just go to Kuala Lumpur because there's the other visa office.
And that one's attached to the embassy, which I thought, you can't shut down an embassy. You can shut down the consulate, but the embassy's got to stay open, right? Because embassies stay open even in wartime, is my understanding.
But but they were useless as well and closed. And I'm like, how do people get out of there to go anywhere? Actually, I mean, not just China, but what are you doing? What's happening?
I mean, that was just the Chinese embassy, so I don't. I assume other.
So I wonder what's going on with the others. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? But so now you were like, well, we know that the one in Singapore is open. Like, we found the only way that we surely know, and this was kind of iffy even at best, was because people had posted about having recently been there a couple of days prior to leaving. So you're like, oh, okay, they must be there. Someone actually utilized their services in person, a brick and mortar actual office. And that's when you headed on towards Singapore through Penang to Kuala Lumpur to Singapore.
Right. Yep. And so yesterday morning at 3 a.m., I pulled into Singapore. And this is where we haven't talked much since then, because as soon as I crossed into Singapore, my phone went out, of course, because it's a different country. You would think, being how small Singapore is and how closely tied they are with Malaysia, that they would have a bit more connections. But no, apparently there's not a single service that counts them both the same so that you can use your phone in both places. But honestly, I think Hong Kong's the same way. So anyway, it was China, and it's part of China, so that's kind of worse. But anyway, so that's when the phone cut out. I should have picked a main terminal bus station to be dropped off at 3 a.m. because I didn't think about it. I didn't, it didn't register that the mall that they were dropping me off at was going to be closed, and it's not a bus service. It's not a bus stop. It's not, what am I trying to say? It's not a bus station. So it's not a 24-hour thing. So they drop you off at 3 a.m. in the middle of the city in the middle of the night. And I was like, okay, well, and there's nothing to open. And this is not a 24-hour city. If you ever thought just because a city is big, it must be like New York and, 24 hours and there's always something going on. Nope. This place was closed. Everything was closed. I walked into 7-Elevens that had in the window, it said 24 hours. And I walked in and got told, we're closed. We're not open until 9. And I was like, all right. So I walked quite a bit around the city trying to get what I could done in the middle of the night. But I couldn't get my card activated until 11 a.m. the next day. My SIM card, I mean.
Wow. Okay, so in that time, that's when you were telling me about your SIM card. You had sent a message probably where you got some Wi-Fi, just a little crumb of Wi-Fi somewhere out there, and then messaged. Yeah.
Yeah. Shot out a message to you then, and then we found after I got the thing activated, we got online and found a place, and so I got into a pod, and I mean, after that, it's kind of a blur because I was sleep deprived. But I think we went to me and you on the WhatsApp went to went to some mall, and I think I bought some stuff for my feet because I've said on the show before I walk so much. My feet and my shoes. My shoes are almost disintegrated. I hope they last until China, but they are not in good shape.
Oh no, we need to get you some shoes before you go to China. Absolutely, you need some shoes. Did you put the new inserts that you got into those shoes? I hope not. Right? You didn't, right?
No, I did.
Oh no! Oh my God! Well, at least that'll make it seem like the soles are brand new to the things.
Well, actually, they feel better. I can actually feel more cushion from those insoles because but the shoes are just so down to nothing. I've been walking all over Southeast Asia for the past 2 years?
Yeah.
In them, so yeah.
Well, I found all the shoe stores over there. They have a Skechers outlet. They have an Aldo shoes. If we can find out how you can get into Aldo, they usually have really good prices. But I think you can get a pair of decent Skechers or some of the Aldo brand, which really are just fine, for like $25 to $30. And that's not bad because I mean over here those things would be like, you know, 50 to 65, somewhere around. At least it's still a little bit cheaper there.
Here in Singapore?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's good. That's a good price.
Mm-hmm. I found, and there was a whole all black pair of Skechers, and they looked great. And I think they were 40 Singapore dollars. So what would that be? I think it's 73 cents on the US. Here, let me see. So it would be, was it $40 or 30? I think it was 39. Here, it looks like. So it'd be $28 if it's a $39 pair of shoes. So if it's 45, you'd be looking at about $30, like 44-ish. So you'd be looking at $30 on a pair of shoes. And they're like really good ones. These were specifically like built up for walking, jogging, running, all that kind of stuff. Not just like, I don't even know what shoes you have on, but you definitely need new shoes.
Oh, would you like to see them?
Oh, yes. Oh, let's look at these shoes, man. Oh, Lord Jesus.
So I bought them.
Oh, my God. What brand is that?
It's Fila.
That is like, that's the shoes you'd see somebody in the inner city toss up over a line outside. You know what I'm talking about? They toss it up over oh yeah, you got to. Yeah. Here, I'll send you the links to all these things. But guess where all of those places are? They're in that little market near where you have your room for right now.
The market?
So in that, well, not the market, but the mall. But they call it something. What is it? Plaza?
Oh, that's like, this is like City Center Market.
Plaza, city something. Yeah, City. Yeah, whatever it was. It's that mall.
All right.
So they have
the front gate. Well, I read online. It seemed like none of this part requires admission. It's just that there's little activities inside that you can pay extra for. So I'm really surprised these are not. Every time you see these advertised, because these are like iconic Singapore things.
Mm-hmm.
They always look like they're in the middle of the jungle, but not so much right now. This is the plaza, the gate, the entry gate. I guess I wanted to put them out first, see our best thing, and then everything else will be disappointment. Welcome. Singapore motto. Come for the razzle dazzle. Stay because you already paid for the room.
And also the way that they tell you on the phone, what did they say that your room was going to be? That's ridiculous. Also, they said it was going to be in the 50s, right? Like 50 something.
$50-something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
that was when we were checking for a pod, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a pod. This guy had the nerve to say 55. I'm like, excuse me.
I mean, part of me feels like your product is your product or service, and you can price it for whatever you want, and if people don't like it, they can just not buy it. And the other part of me thinks when you say $50 for a fucking plastic pod to sleep in, somebody just slam you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just ridiculous. That's insulting to anyone asking. It's like, do you think I'm stupid?
Right. And see, I know that they have it listed like that, and then they're thinking, well, they heard an American voice and that's what they said. I know it. I know it. There's no way that they're going to tell somebody that's from there that damn pod is $55.
Here in Singapore, I think they would.
Well, yeah, true, because they're going to milk them for money there too. Yeah.
Right.
So
but also, I mean, it's just one city, so you don't get domestic tourism here. Like nobody. I'm sure there's an exception to this somewhere, but nobody travels from Singapore to Singapore like a regular country, because it's only like one city. It's one little island. So you're never far enough. If you live here, you don't need to get a hotel room. So everybody that stays in a hotel here is going to be from somewhere else.
I mean, it was luck though that the site actually had it for the price, and they actually accepted it at the hotel. You know what I mean? Rather than them saying, "Oh, yeah, no, that's not going to work."
Really, you're right. It's now a crapshoot after you pay. After you make your booking, it's a crapshoot whether the hotel is going to let you stay there.
But that's why you have to make the bookings on PayPal so you can raise hell and get your money back. Like, you just you have to, because that's why I did it. I was like, you know what? We're going to do it, because guess what? I dare you to tell me that you're going to keep this money, because I'm going to pitch a fit. I'm going to have a little bitch fit as a little thing. But yeah,
while we're done,
protect your money. You know what I mean? So.
It's too bad this doesn't actually seem like it's running. I would.
What it is?
It's the little thing. It goes somewhere.
Oh,
it doesn't seem to go very far. Yeah, that's as much description as you're getting. It's the little thing. Also, I want to keep moving, because this is a big. The Marina Bay Sands is next, and you can get to it. Let's just walk through the gardens to there.
Yeah.
How efficient is that? Awesome. Are we seeing this?
Yeah.
You are here, and we just want to wander aimlessly through this area, and then on up. Maybe we move into this and then come out this way. That way we get to see. That's the super grove tree. That's those things. They must look better in the middle. They got lots of them, I guess. All right. Yeah. I mean, it looks cooler in the pictures, because when I'm looking at the pictures, I'm usually in the hotel room where there's air conditioning. I hate to be that way. I really do.
No, it's freaking hot. I hate hot. You got the right person on this thing with you, because I'm telling you right now, I hate hot and butt crack sweat weather. And I need air conditioning, and I'm not going to sit there and go, "Oh no, I love the heat." I'm not one of those people that's like, "Oh, it's the summertime. Aren't you excited?" No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't like sweat down my butt crack and have titty sweat, or have my fucking hair. So sorry. You might want to put that out. I don't know. But anyway, have it sticking to my face. And everybody here is just like, it's so wonderful. It's like 90 something out there. And then it's always wet too. It's always wet. It's never just not.
But it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Yes, and people say that, but it really is.
Because I've lived in.
Wait, it paused.
I don't know if I'm inside in this area.
Oh, there. Okay.
Oh, are we connected? I'm going through a building, so it may have a connection issue for a moment. Well, I feel like I pointed the wrong way, because we're not supposed to be going towards the water, but it's pretty, so let's walk over there and try and loop around.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you walk through where those trees are, you'll have more shade. It should be a little bit cooler right there.
I hope so. That was my main disappointment with those things that we just looked at, that were the tall things we just looked at. I was like, if you would put something in the tops of those that would provide shade, and that would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool building. I should be showing you
this. This is ornate. Okay, so that is.
I mean, this is their signature area. This whole region here. I think if we did a second day in Singapore, we'll probably come back to this area and just do another side of the bay. But this waterfront area is where most of their tourist attractions are. It's where most of their fantastic, pretty buildings are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it.
So I see that they have a Ferris wheel there. This one's called the Singapore Flyer, the one that we see up in front of you there. Whoa, the cost of building the Singapore flyer there in front of you was 240 million Singapore dollars. So still a lot of
It sounds
US.
like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it cost to ride the Singapore flyer? How much do you want to bet that it's ridiculous? And no, it is.
I'm going to say over $50. What is it?
No. Oh, I think this is ridiculous. And it's not even near 50, but it's 33 for visitors age 13 older. And that is comparable to what it cost in Atlanta to get in their stupid Ferris wheel. And I've been in it because the woman that came to visit me from Texas, she's like, you got to get in this thing with me. And I'm like, okay, let me get in this thing. It's really, I know, but I mean, she paid for it, so I did it. And I'm like, I don't know if I trust these random people to put me up in a big wheel in the sky. But I was in it. It was fine. It was air conditioned, so maybe those are too.
Yeah.
But,
I
was
yeah.
They were about that because it was freaking summer too, and it was hot. And I was like, I hate it here. I hate being in Atlanta in the summer. There's no shade. It's hot and it sucks. But I was like, well, at least it's air conditioned. And I'll die, in the wheel in the sky in air conditioning. But it was like $30 to get in that thing. You're only sitting in it for about 5 minutes. They just twirl you around a couple of times on it.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's a no for me.
Right. I mean, I can see why they're popular now. I think London was the first one to get one, and they just became the most popular tourist attraction. And it's kind of surprising because it is just a Ferris wheel, and those have been in amusement parks for a long, long time. Obviously, it's bigger, which is one reason it's interesting. But
true. I think people were asking if it was the biggest. I'm not sure, but I mean, I know London Eye was definitely the first one. Yeah, like you were talking about.
Yeah, that was I remember.
But I don't think
that was interesting because it was the first one.
We had freaking fairs that came through, and I got on. I mean, talking about dying on that thing in Atlanta. I got in a Ferris wheel at the Bartow County Fair. So I mean, those carnies. It's not like they were going to keep me safe. And that was open. True, yeah. It was just out in the open. It was aired. There was no capsule on the thing. It was literally just out there, and we would swing the thing. I mean, but we were little. We were like 12. So I'm like, woo, let's just die. I mean, could not fathom doing that now, and would never go to a fair now. But that Ferris wheel, the Tilt-A-Whirl, and the Gravitron, dude, those were great. You're like, you want to spin
I remember that. I love those. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the danger I'm concerned with on these things, although, they could fall apart, but I'm not too worried about that. We were supposed to look at this. I'm just like headed straight towards the Marina Bay, making a beeline. It's not what I meant to do. Let's walk into the forest. We wanted to see this popular site.
Yes.
It's just you'll see it on all the ads for Singapore. This episode is not undiscovered Singapore, by the way. This is the stuff you see right in the marketing material for the city. But since I'm only going to be here for a few hours, I'm trying to just hit some high points and go, well, wasn't that neat? But we'll try and come back down before we go. I mean, I've got to come back down on Monday for just to drop off I think they have to, there's some not examination, but like, it's more than just dropping it off. You got to bring the application in and, answer some questions, maybe. I don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Oh, I'll look it up again. There was something, maybe you have to sign something there. I don't know.
It can't be too complicated. Often you hire people to do this for you. Like when I was in the U.S., we just hired a company to do it. So I didn't have to go.
Them there. I saw that. They were like, well, you could have your company represent you here. And I was like, oh, or not. I mean, if it costs $55 for a pod, I would not even want to know what a tourism or immigration company would charge in Singapore.
Right. Well, that and I mean, the main reason for doing it in the U.S. is I lived in Atlanta, and there's no consulate in Atlanta. You've got to go to Houston, and I was like, well, that sounds expensive. So it actually is cheaper to have them do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But here it's just a metro right away. All right, well, this is it. Sorry. I mean, this Singapore is great. Visit today. No, I don't ever want this show to become just a shill for travel industry. Like, oh, you have to visit this place. It's the best ever. I want to say if a place is not all it's cracked up to be, and we got a few more of these tree-looking things to go, but I'm not impressed.
Yeah, what's up with that? What's the objective of those? It's not like everything has to serve a purpose, but I'm like, what are you
I mean, I think it is just art, but
okay.
maybe I picked the wrong time of day to come. I don't know, but they just like there's some towers and metal towers and there's shit growing on them.
I bet it would look good at night. Everything looks great at night with lights on it.
Yeah, if it's lit up at night, that would be nice. It would just look nice then, but. And we didn't get to the
green space also.
It's nice green space, yeah. But I mean, now that's nice without the tower thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do find like sometimes marketing departments bury the lead, like we found in Penang, where you just heard and saw nothing but these stupid paintings on the walls all over town, right in the middle of this gorgeous colonial city with great food. And I mean, another place where if you wanted to stay in Georgetown, you'd be spending a lot of money. But if you've got it, it'll be a really nice place to stay. And, one of the few places in Malaysia where you're probably going to have to take a cab, but it'll be a short cab ride and fairly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually is a great destination. But the only thing they can think to put on the marketing material are these dumbass paintings all over town. I was like, who cares about that?
It's not even that many of them, but that really is on so much of the marketing for it. That one painting of the what was it? The bike thing. There was like a kid on the bike thing.
Kid on the bike, and every adult apparently wants to come and look like they're humping this kid on the bike. And it's so. I'm like, what? You don't see anything wrong with that? It looks so. I mean, it's so weird. All these people lined up to do it. I'm like, okay. But anyway, yeah. But there was a ton of other. Not I shouldn't say tons. There were a few other of those paintings around. But I mean, they're just paintings on a wall. There was nothing impressive about them. And I hate to say like I'm bashing the artist that did it because I'm sure he is proud of his work and looks lovely, but it is just a painting.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, I don't get why they're pushing that when the city itself is awesome.
When the temples themselves are art and
temples,
yeah,
Hindu temples and Confucian temples, and Taoist temples, and colonial architecture all mixed in together, and all these different kinds of food mixed in together. Such an interesting place, and that's all but that's easy to put on, a pamphlet, I guess.
You know what, though? I mean, like, simple crap like that, people love it. People love simple crap. And and I'm sure that they might be, like, trying to get Westerners to like it. Westerners love simple crap.
I don't know. The Chinese people were lining up for that stuff, too. They were...
Oh, God, really? Like, just to do... Yeah. Like,
did your opinion of Chinese people just go down?
No, why? Why did they do it? I mean, I guess go ahead and do all your touristy stuff too. But I really loved everything about the jetty, the clan jetty thing, and all the different
that was really cool
families.
Yeah. Now see, there's something else that was really genuine, interesting, and cool, and yet it's maybe number 3 or 4 on the list. It's on there, but. It's down the list. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's just where I would have my pictures made. I would be doing something out of those things, and I'd want to meet the people. Like, if you ever go back, I would be great if somebody would do an interview from because those are descendants from the original people that immigrated there in the 1800s. Yeah,
right. Yeah, those are still the clan jetties. They're not. It is a tourist site, but it's not just a tourist site.
Because you were just on the Chew jetty, because
right,
that
was the one we happened to go by. Yeah, that was great. Well, I don't know what you're thinking yet,
I mean, this looks pretty there. I think,
It is
whoa,
pretty. Yeah.
okay.
Oh, this goes nowhere.
Ah!
Terrific. I love going nowhere. I actually want to get to the big thing. Is there not a way to get over there?
You didn't start those again. They've been done. Yeah. Okay, go. Are you sure?
So while we're trying to figure out how to get to the big ones in the center, so we can conclude this section of the tour, I'm going to tell you about something I've discovered recently called a PU letter. It's like PU, like Fabula Pew, with the letters. It's a PU letter, and it is apparently required in order to get into China. My employers know nothing about it. They've never heard. They're supposed to apply with a, what the fuck is this shit? The trail keeps going to nowhere. Okay, sorry. Anyway, my employers did not apply for it.
Holy crap, but they should know about that, because I thought that was something that you would have had. That was like required since 2020.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So they didn't do it, but I'm going to submit without it, because in 2021, in I think it was June or July, they announced that anyone applying who has the Chinese vaccine does not need a PU letter.
Awesome.
Maybe that's why they didn't tell them about it.
Is that what you did? That one?
That's what I got. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, barring some, thing like that got repealed or whatever, unless there's an additional problem that I have not seen, I should be okay. So it shouldn't be a problem. But I just thought I would mention that before I discovered the exception. That was when I was in the bus station in Kuala Lumpur, is when I stumbled across that, and then I hadn't yet found the exception. I couldn't call you, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna panic here, but I didn't. I just kept searching the internet. I don't really have panic problems. It's all been within the past 4 months.
Well, I will look and see what I can find with it. But when you told them that, are they going to try and work on it while you're over there? Because look, like if they could still try and work on it to get it to you anyway. But I mean, you got to submit your stuff before then, because you got to submit it Monday.
Well, yeah, and it's just not worth it to wait and try to get it, or try to even get more information about it, because when I go in Monday, if I don't have that letter to give them, and they do want it, then
you need to be where you're at for a freaking month, because it'll take a month for them to get the letter approved through whatever district and all that other stuff. Like it takes at least a month, if not more.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it took instead of 1 to 3 months to get that. So here's the thing: if they say I need it on Monday, then either the school is going to start just sending me money, which I wouldn't blame them if they didn't want to do that. But they're either going to do that, or I have to take the job in Vietnam. Like I can't wait 3 months, another 3 months.
Right, 3
because
months.
They didn't get this right.
But see, so you just
really even a month
about the right. But a month, you could almost pull it off if it was just a month, okay? Because you could be in Johor Bahru, and because I found places that were at like 8 or 9, or what? Well, you can't stay there.
Well, that's the number 2 thing we have to discuss. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh, well, because when you submit your stuff, you have to be legally in Singapore. Okay. They didn't say that you can't go across. Like if people are living in Singapore or in Johor Bahru and go back and forth across the land bridge, you should hopefully be able to go over there to the cheaper place, and not in a $1 million pod. But then you can stay there. But I mean, that's just crazy. Like that's just too much. That's asking too much of you, and also why didn't the school know? I mean, but she didn't even know her address. So I mean,
well, that's true. This one looks neat if you go up in it. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it might be reserved for nighttime because nothing's open and nobody else out here is fool enough to even be here at this time of day.
Yeah, it's got to be something that they light up. No, I want you.
It just looks like it lights up, doesn't it?
Just for this go around? Yeah. Fine, take it. Santana's in here. Say hello.
Hi.
I heard. Fine, take it. Hello, Santana. Are you watching today?
I am right now. Yeah.
I'm standing next to her. I don't think there's going to be any snakes today in today's episode. So sorry.
Look at these things.
Ooh, what are those?
It's some kind of art installation, but kind of incorporates the greenery. We're guessing that they light them up at night.
They look like little mushroom trees or something.
Oh, now
Yeah.
if they made that look like mushrooms at night, I would
that
love
would be
it.
so cool, and then the little white parts could light up.
Yeah.
And the mushrooms.
Or if they give you mushrooms at night.
If they give you mushrooms at night,
No.
They'll really look like mushrooms.
that'll really make it worthwhile. It'll really
No.
mushrooms look like mushrooms,
Whoa.
man.
That's right.
Put that
All
in the
right.
container. We're doing laundry. You
Oh.
know, I know that everything has been beyond stressful for you for years now, but it is really freaking cool that you are standing in Singapore. We're talking to you, but we're over here doing mundane laundry crap.
Well, I agree. That's why I wanted to do this show altogether, because I can be stressed about it and still at the same time somewhere in my brain I'm like, this is all really amazingly awesomely cool. Oh, am I still on? I was looking at the map and I got hello. Are you hearing me?
I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the map and got distracted. I was just talking away. Anyway, but I realized that it cuts me off if I stay too long off of this. What do you call it? App. Okay, but I was trying to figure out where to go from here because I know where I want to go. Come on, machine, don't be like this. What are you doing? Google Maps is stupid. You stupid Google Maps. I need to figure out which way to turn. I'm headed for the Dragonfly Bridge. Okay, then we're pointed in the right direction. Oh, I could have just looked at the Marina Bay Sands. It is like 1,000 stories tall. 1,000 stories like that. Real thing. Okay, let's go off. I think you're right. This is a cool thing to look at, but it's at least needs evening lighting to make it. Oh, I don't know if you saw this one part though. Do you see the yellow? Do you see it's a bridge? The yellow thing, kind of. Yeah. So you're allowed access up there, and if you pay, that's paying the pay part, and you can get up there and walk around that thing.
Oh, no, you get some good shots. So if you were there to do photography and really, yeah, that would be good shots. But
oh yeah, that would be.
I bet it's like $20 to get up there or something.
Yeah, it's not even open right now because again, nobody else is fool enough to be out here at the heat of the day. And even though it's not even 10 o'clock, it is already the heat of the day. Oh. I was talking about, I hate to complain about the heat because, I guess, is it better than freezing? It's not the worst thing that can happen.
No, I think freezing is much better. I would love, because you can always bundle up. You can't get butt naked and run through and cool off anywhere. And even being naked in that heat, you'd still be like, well, I'm still hot.
Yeah, right. This is some hot naked. Actually, it's not some hot naked when I do it. But.
Oh, she gets.
Oh.
Okay.
Where's it says, what kind of bridge did I say I was looking for?
What is it? A dragonfly.
Dragonfly. Oh, yeah, you're right. I bet you're doing like two things and still remember what I'm saying, and I don't even remember what I said.
Oh, it's because I have children and 7 animals. Right.
What?
True.
Two.
Okay, make her one for me. He eat his burger.
Okay. Unless you want to do.
Burger's fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was thinking about it.
Okay, we're gonna eat some veggie burgers.
Oh, nice.
Okay, the Sinovac Coronavac exemption for the PU letter. The Chinese government has recently eased the PU letter requirement for some foreign nationals, namely those who received the Chinese Sinovac vaccine. Plenty of people have managed exemptions this way. Some have even gone to the trouble of seeking out the Sinovac vaccine in countries where they offer. Blah, 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 blah. Here to go. Having said that, we haven't heard anything anyone being able to get Sinovac abroad lately. Doesn't matter. Let's see about this if it's real. Let me see. If you do get lucky, blah 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 blah. Yada yada. For now, but sorry to acquaint yourself with things PU letter related. There's another exemption. This okay, but wait, what are they saying? If you do get lucky and manage to score a Sinovac vaccine, yeah, remember that you will need the vaccine certificate translated and authenticated by Chinese authorities. Given it will probably be in English, but yours isn't in English, is it?
Mine's, well, there's English on it. It's Vietnamese and English.
Okay, so I mean, they can.
I mean, the worst thing is they're going to tell me to go get it authenticated, and that'll take a couple of days, and then I'll resubmit.
Yeah, it says like this. It says, remember, you will need to get the vaccine certificate translated and authenticated by Chinese authorities. I mean, obviously, they should have something like that on site then, if that's a requirement.
I think they do.
Yeah, so that does it. So
that's what I said. It sounds like I'm still okay.
Yes.
It was a new stress to have while I was trying to figure it out the other night. So there you go. There's that. Oh.
Also multiple things at once and all that kind of stuff, because this is literally life in the US constantly anyway, is constant barrage of ridiculous paperwork and just obstacles purposely put there to make you trip up. And and so it's, well, some are purposely there, some are there because people are poor planners or just don't have anything arranged that's user friendly. There's all kinds of crap, okay? And there's all kinds of just outdated rules or things. They don't care if you don't know what the outdated rules are. They don't care if you know what the so you have to just keep up with it. That's why I'm constantly looking up things while I was talking to you, because I was looking up here to see what to expect when you go for your visa center appointment. And and it tells you what should I do after arriving at the center. Please be punctual. You'll obtain a queue number. You'll wait for your queue to be called. You'll submit your application at the counter designated for handling a particular queue number. Receive the pickup form, which is a receipt showing information of your application and date for collection. Please check all the particulars on the pickup form. Should you have any questions about information printed on it, please contact staff immediately. I think, another thing when I was reading about it, do you have any copies of your past Chinese passports?
Well, I have no pass. You mean Chinese visas?
Well, some kind of passport or like a passport. They said something
I saw that
pictures and passports and visas. I don't know. Do you have any kind of older documentation too?
No. You're not required to keep that. But what am I trying to say? The passport requirement. I saw that. I'm pretty sure they did. That was not a mistake. That's for Chinese nationals who have.
Okay, good. Okay,
Chinese
I was
passports.
like, I hope that this is not for expats and that they're doing something where they're like, dude, here you need this from 5 years ago or something. Okay, good. So it's just for
right. Because the first time I read it, I thought, well, they mean visas, and then I thought they wouldn't make that mistake. And I read it again. I was like, oh no, that's for people who are either Chinese nationals or former. So if you've ever been a Chinese national, or you are currently, then that applies to you. But I don't have a Chinese passport. And I mean, to be honest, I do have my old passport with the Chinese visa in it. And when I say I have it, I mean it's hopefully one of the things that got saved from my apartment when I departed China before.
This just really doesn't seem like it's that difficult to do there. So like at the center, and they had a decent rating. So it seems like, they're not really crappy. Let me see.
I don't want you to miss what we're seeing. I feel like you're not looking at the.
Oh my God! Screen. Yes, I know. But I'm worried about you getting to China. I'm like.
I know. Absolutely.
I want you to when you mentioned PU letter about how to fit. Okay.
Because you've seen that before, right?
Yeah. Because I was just thought, he's got all this from that woman. Why would I think that though? Why would I think that she would have sent you that when she couldn't even get the money to you right? Oh my God.
Well, we waited 10 days on the money to show up, and with this reason, finally we find out the reason it didn't come. She didn't put her address in correctly.
She's like,
And she kept telling me to ask my bank, and I'm like, I keep asking them, they're not seeing anything. But she wasn't going and asking her bank.
oh,
Because as soon as she did, they were like, yeah, it didn't go through because you didn't put the address in. Oh, we can laugh about it now since it's all over. Where's the dragonfly bridge? I walked under it, but I do not see it. This is not making riveting television. Oh, is that it? Or whatever we're doing now. Okay. One thing, we're an hour into the show and I haven't found my way out of the first attraction yet. But we've done longer streams than this for sure. I didn't bring the extra battery because I just don't think I've got it in me to do a longer than 2 hours today. And I got to get up to Johor Bahru. Did we even get to that part yet?
No, like you were going to leave from the really expensive spot there and go to Johor Bahru and get a cheaper place for a couple of days, and then go by bus, come back in and hit it up at the Visa Center.
Right, because I had to redo the forms last night because I was originally going to submit in Penang. So I couldn't even get an appointment until I redid the forms. I finally got into the hospital and it ran an extension cord to my pod because they don't have electricity in the pods, because why would you when you charge $50 a night?
Yeah, God forbid.
But I ran the extension cord, filled out the forms, and submitted and got my appointment time. And of course, by 3 a.m. or whenever it was that I finished last night, the appointment is for Monday. They wouldn't do it for today.
Yeah, I figured that would happen because, you know,
I did, yeah.
I mean, it's still good that they have it for Monday, and it's not something where you have to wait for a week or two. That would be bad.
Yeah, that would be bad. You're right. Well, I did get the impression that it was not like a long wait for the appointment. But I didn't know that for sure. It could have been. It certainly could have been. Well, now that we're approaching site number 2, I believe I'll introduce the Whammo update that I didn't
off there. Sorry.
Sure.
Why? How is someone still calling me on my computer? I don't have anything pulled up. What?
I hate that.
It won't go away.
Is nothing's flashing or anything?
No. Let me look at the tabs. There's nothing in tabs. Okay. Oh my God. Why? Oh, it's my friend's mother calling me. What? Okay. There. Are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
I hate phones ringing. Okay. So I never have anything on, but because I'm on with you, that ringy ring happened. And I was like, oh my God, what is that sound?
Right. I never have. Right. So I'm not used to it. When it starts ringing, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I had to figure out where that was from too. I was like, what is that call from? That's a Facebook call sound, by the way, which I haven't heard in like a year. Okay. Here.
You can make calls on Facebook. I don't use Facebook.
Yes. That's usually where people call me because I'd never answer my phone either.
You think they take it down yet? All right. We are moving to the Marina Bay Sands. I'm sure if you've looked at anything about Singapore, you've seen this multiple times. I don't know if you could go up there and, snap pictures. I don't know how accessible it is. It's a fancy hotel, so they might not want you to do that. And if so, we will just move on to the next thing. Or if not, we'll move on to the next thing, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But,
oh, yeah. Those things are lit up at night. I'm looking at a picture of them.
Okay.
It's still not
And
wow. It looks like the Jetsons,
really?
though. It looks like the Jetsons meets like a Disney version of some kind of what would be Asia. I don't know. It just looks odd. I don't know. They look like little cool, they look like they should be scented cinnamon and left at your front door. Okay,
Well,
now
I'm not saying I think they look bad, by the way.
they just
to
look
be
like,
clear.
oh,
It's
okay,
just like, yeah,
that's
oh,
fair.
all right. I get that from that feeling from a lot of art installations, to be honest. I don't mean to be an anti-art person. I like art just fine, but it's like by Joe. It's very specific to the consumer. If it does not strike you as interesting, then it just doesn't. One, brand is going to, entice everyone.
Right. Some people love that, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I do like the everything's just really neat and clean, and I am big on that. So at least there's that.
Oh yeah. Well, you're not wrong about that. This is a clean place, and everything is well organized too. It's like well organized. Are you seeing anything, or did I go up too high? Kind of went up too high, didn't I?
Wow. So you don't know if people can get up there or people do get up there. I remember seeing a picture of that.
Interesting action of the show. Ooh. Oh, I'm just sweating like a duck. I mean, that's bleeding like a stuck pig. I'm sweating like a whore in church. This is the inside of this thing. They're all atriums and they're open. Wow.
What?
I did not know that. Let's see the roof from where we're at. Okay. Now, where you're looking just directly above me, the three towers are separated past that point, above that point. But let's see. But below that, it is one building. So they are all really one building. The three towers seem to function separately. Like you'll see, there's no walkway connection from the tower part. But to be honest, I'm going to walk closer as if that helps. But to be honest, the two sides of what appear to be one tower from the outside, they don't really connect either. I guess there is one walkway over on the glass side, so you can get across. But they're basically two separate buildings. Huh. That angle of that building is astounding to me. When you see that there's no support, it just connects at the top. Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we certainly cannot get up to the top from here because this little walkway that we're on goes across the level that we're at and goes right out the other side, and it accesses nothing else. So they basically made it where you can go from the gardens to whatever's on the other side there through the hotel without actually bothering any of the guests. And I'm going to show one more thing.
No, get down.
All right. I don't know if this is zoomed enough, and maybe this isn't fascinating to other people, but there we go. It's just not a job I would want. That's not even the thing where you're dangling in the little, what do you call it? The little platform that hangs off the side of the vertical building. These guys are on the side of the building with their feet planted against the glass that they're cleaning. And they're just
I would never.
spelunking.
No, could never.
No, I wouldn't. Really would not.
Oh, Santana.
What?
You have bread in the refrigerator that I saved from Panera. Okay. Oh, good. That's what she's using. I'm sure everybody is really happy to know that that we have our burger situation.
You gotta have your Panera bread. Fancy restaurant. You know what this reminds me of? This whole thing.
What?
The what the name of the hotel at Disney World that's right next to the Magic Kingdom? The conventional, the constrained, it starts with the C. You know the name of the hotel? It's got the monorail running through it.
Contemporary Resort.
Contemporary, there.
Yeah.
The Contemporary. Yeah. All right.
Probably costs as much, if not more, too.
Actually, you're right, which is crazy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of paying big prices for anything, but I can kind of see why people pay it here. It's actual luxury, but Disney's going to charge you about the same amount.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, that looks fancy. Disney is definitely going to charge you a lot, more than a lot, like a lot infinity. I cannot believe how much they cost now.
Oh yeah, well, I think we've talked about that on previous streams, and it's worth talking about. I mean, there's your a travel topic right there. How has the price of Disney gone so through the roof? I mean, the price of everything has gone up, of course. That's what happens, but they've gone up a lot more than anything else.
Because they know that Disney fanatic adults will cling to Disney no matter what, and they just keep going. Nothing is more cringy than a Disney adult. Like, you can love Disney, right? You can love the little characters or have some kind of connection to childhood, or just think that it's a nice little wholesome thing or whatever. But it gets too far when they're a little bit maniacal about it, and they're like I said,
homes are decorated all over with Disney. They have figurines in the case, posters, and they have no children.
Disney. Oh no, she has children though. This one did have children. My friend's sister, but now the adults were enjoying Disney way more than these kids were.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. That's where the cost comes from. And the sad thing is that's what's making it cost so much that kids now, a lot of kids are not, like, it's just not even in the cards for them to see and experience Disney stuff, because the fanatics are driving up the price. I knew it would do that. I just knew it.
What?
If you are gone away from a thing too long, it erases it. If you don't want to look at it anymore. I guess we're in Chinese Singapore, because it won't give me English.
Oh.
All right. What were we doing? Singapore Classic. Palm Beach, spectacular views. All right, we want to see how to get there. Go Google Maps, I guess. All right, well. I'm sorry. Were you able to hear anything I was saying?
Yeah, you were trying to switch everything around because it switched back to a different language. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it switched back to Chinese. But I was just trying to find the path where I'm supposed to be going, and yeah, they don't like to make things easy. All right, well, we're heading over that way. We're heading to a restaurant, which I am glad of, because despite getting up quite early this morning, the $50 a night pod can't man the front desk 24 hours, so you can't check out. And I have been thinking a lot in the past few days, obviously because of what's been going on, but it's not a new thought, about how, and this is the travel chat too, how hotels they're set up to scam you, and for no other reason than they want to, and they're organized to do it. And the particular thing I'm talking about right now is that check-in time. Why the hell is a check-in time even a thing? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
For them to say, here's when we want you to check into the hotel. What do I care what you want? I'm the customer. Shouldn't I say I want to check at 11? They want you to pay.
Should have check-in at least by 1, not at 3, because there's no way that you're cleaning that long in a room. Like, because checkout is at 11. I'm like, if you want my butt out at 11, you need to let the next person in by 1. That gives you 2 whole hours to get everything clean in all the rooms.
Well, my thing is check in, check out. That shouldn't even, like, for the hotels to predetermined times for everyone to check out at the same time is actually more difficult for someone who's cleaning a room or for the cleaning crew than it is to just let people check out when they sign up to check. Like, it's that they're going to pay for the room until 11 o'clock, or if they want to pay for it till 6, all you have to do is, schedule the cleaning at 6 o'clock when they leave. Right. And
right.
if
never that coordinated at a place. I worked as a cleaning lady at a hotel, at several hotels. They're just like, just run up on them. They don't care. They don't care who's checking out or when. You just knock, and then if they're out, they're out. But they should be out. It's all about stuffing more bodies in the rooms. What? Try it.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, this would be to the hotel's advantage because they could get a lot more people in a lot fewer rooms if they would stop predetermining everyone's checkout time. And it's also infuriating as a traveler that this is now 2 days that I'm arranging my whole day around accommodating the hotel.
Right.
So I had to spend half the day yesterday waiting to check in, just doodling around, walking around town, twiddling my thumbs. I had a room paid for, and I couldn't check in because
not even a whole freaking room. It's like $22 for a freaking pod that they tried to do 55 for, and they're like, no, you come back at 2 or 3, whatever.
By the way, I should mention I actually loved the pod that I stayed at in Penang. That was great. So it's not that I don't like the pod hotel concept.
Right.
It's just that these people are overcharging.
The less than what you paid for pod concept, where it doesn't even have a TV or an outlet in the room.
Yeah. The one in Penang had a TV inside, which I don't watch TV, so it didn't do me a lot of good. But
right, I would still want it. I want everything having something.
Well, so it had a TV and it had a electrical outlet, and they even included a splitter so you could plug in more than one thing. And what else did it have? It had, this one has USB chargers, so they both got that. But it also had, like, I've just got a shade to pull down to separate me from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And the other one had a metal door. You could pull the door closed.
Right.
And a key so that you're the only one who could get in. Anybody could walk up and get into my pod that I was in now last night.
They could reach their hand in there and mess with you. I mean, you don't know. Crazy people are like, hey, that looks cool.
It's pretty cool. I think I got to go on one more level to see just how cool it really is. But then in order to do that, I have to figure out where the down escalator is. I don't see anything. Oh, right here. I found it.
Is that Gucci right there?
Oh yeah, this is a fancy mall. That was definitely a Gucci store.
What is the name of this mall?
Oh, I don't know. We're just walking through it. We're trying to get the shops at Marina Bay Sands. Oh, this is the shops at the resort.
Ew. It's the shops at Marina Bay Sands, luxury brands. That's
yep.
I was
they
like,
are too. I believe them.
I could just send you some money to get me some kind of luxury stuff, and I can be like, yeah, I got it in Singapore.
Well, unfortunately, like when you're at the high end of shops, it's not indicative where you bought it because Apple, Armani, reading all the names here, Gucci, they're the same everywhere. They don't make it's not like it's a real something that really shows you were in this place.
Right. It doesn't have like Singapore on the thing. I'm just saying, they're like, ooh, I love that Gucci. And I'm like, yeah, I know, got it in Singapore. That way I'm a jet setter. I never got this overly priced
You're
stuff.
a jet setter. Yes. Excellent. Yes.
Except
Well,
for what
yeah,
I'm
I'm ready.
going to do is continue to buy my fake Gucci on Amazon. And I get it from China. Thank you, China. Ooh.
Crazy, right?
Whoa. I love that. Look at how the water's swirling.
Pretty cool. Wow. It's noisy, though. I don't know why people actually want to sit here and read.
It sounds like little screeching creatures from my side, so it's really funny.
Oh,
It's
right.
like, oh my God, they do have that there though. They have Balmain, Balenciaga, Armani, Burberry. Of course, you saw the Gucci, Dior. It would be great if you got some La Croix, sweetie.
Fendi, we're just going by a Fendi.
Fendi, yes.
You want to see it? Oh, that's the casino. It's right there.
What?
Now, let me guarantee you can't take a camera into a casino,
Oh,
so we won't even try. So I thought I'd show you the sign.
Ooh. They're like, if you haven't spent too much money here, come and lose your money here.
Throw away the rest of it. Oh, actually, I think I'll go back upward because it's kind of a cool building that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I just desperately want to get out at the point that is closest to our ultimate goal because the less time I spend walking in the sun, the better.
Right.
I was saying, like, I hate to be the person that complains about being in paradise. I really do. But I would say I was chatting with the guy that served dim sum at the restaurant in Penang that I ate at every morning. And he was like, where you from? Where do you, what I think the answer is, what's the weather like there? I was like, it gets hot in the summer and cold in the winter. I don't, like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, that's what I meant. He's like, it doesn't get cold here.
Right.
He's like, we don't have seasons.
And hot and a little less hot, and that's it.
Right. It's hot. Well, what was the gift you sent? Sometimes I'm mad, but sometimes I'm not as mad.
Right.
Sometimes it's hot, but sometimes it's not as hot.
It's true.
Yeah, it's strange. Like so many not streams, but so many travel podcasters. Look at this place. Do their shows based in Southeast Asia because if you're editing together a video, it's easy to get shots of Southeast Asia, whether it's luxury like this or beautiful beaches. Or,
what is that place? Was that like a little bar or a little cafe?
TWGT. TEAT. Little cafe, yeah. Sandwiches and
ooh, macarons. Look at those.
Macarons, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little Frenchy thing going on over there, huh?
Smoked salmon and how do you say this? BLINIS. Bernice.
Wait, what is it?
BLINIS.
Blinis?
I don't know.
No, what is
Blinis?
that?
I mean, it could be French. I don't know what the origin is. So I don't know.
I would just figure if they have some macarons there, it might be like it's French.
It sounds Frenchy, yeah. Let's see.
They have blinis. That's a Russian pancake.
Oh, is it?
But it says blinis, Rasa, Malaysia. So let me see. But that's interesting. But it definitely is a Russian pancake. Blini with smoked salmon. Oh, that sounds good.
That did look good, yeah. If anybody would like to join the Patreon and fund my having a bling,
Gosh, please,
on the
somebody, so
screen.
I can live vicariously through them too. I beg of you.
I beg of you.
We have taste for blinis with smoked salmon, and we'd like to get some Balenciaga, darling.
Oh, that reminds me. Actually, let's move on to the next topic that I wanted to make sure I mentioned with you on the stream here today,
Body Works?
which is what. Oh yes, it is.
Okay, I'm just going to be a little Karen for just a minute and go, oh my God, it's about the Body Works. Okay, there.
Well, I probably could use some stuff from them too. Also, a bathroom to bathe in. That would also be great.
You should get a little thing from Bath and Body Works. You will. Look, if I PayPal you just a little smidgen of something, and you just go in there and get you a little treat from the Bath and Body Works that you can use in the shower at your Jehovah room.
Well, let's not do that. Let me panic you on the coming expenses first.
Oh no!
And then if you still think I should do
it's gonna
that,
be horrible.
we'll,
Okay, go.
Okay, so we were trying to get all this done by the 10th, right? So I could fly out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I got on the same night that I discovered the PU letter. I still think the name of that letter is funny because I think it's PU thing. Okay, yeah. On the same night I got that, let's take a walk around if I'm liking to walk in here. I got an email from the Kiwi, the lovely company that booked our well-priced ticket back to China, and they said that China Eastern had canceled their flight, which invalidates the whole trip, of course.
Okay,
doesn't mean you can't.
Which leg? I remember reading that on your page, but I thought, oh, well, maybe they fixed it because you didn't mention it. This is the big thing.
No. Yeah,
what leg of the flight was that? Out of curiosity.
That was Taipei to Shanghai.
Let me tell you why. I knew it was going to be that. There is a big deal going on right now between China and Taiwan. It's more like China wants Taiwan. The U.S. is getting involved slightly by Biden making a statement about it. That I figured that might be an issue. And also I looked up something. Now I saw the Kiwi stuff because I was like, no, they're not going to mess him up. This is crap. Because all I saw on your Twitter, like it's about a couple of hours ago, was that they're like, oh, it's 3 to 6 months to get a refund, right? And I'm like, no, you buttholes. Okay, I'm like, okay, here, let me type it in here. Hold on 1 second.
Well, the worst thing is that the other segments that the airlines didn't cancel, they're not going to give a refund because they didn't cancel anything.
Well, Kiwi is required to try and get you the refund, but they're going to do it with their own credit instead. They do Kiwi credit. Well, I'm telling you right now, I found they can give you a refund in Kiwi credit. Hold on, let me pull it up because I found a way to skip Taiwan for the trip. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay, sure.
So let me do a search. And because it only takes you from Singapore to Macau to Shanghai, which is so funny that it takes you to Macau because it's so close to Guangzhou. It's just below Guangzhou. So you could have actually just gone from there, but you have to do quarantine, right? So when I found it, hold on, let me pull it back up. They can give you, because I saw their policy. It was like, okay, they could do a credit, right? And of course, they're going to make it the most difficult to get your money back fully, right? But they'll give you a credit because they're like, oh, we can just, swoopy doop this thing and they'll still make a big pay off of it. Okay, so I found, here we go. Let me go to, I'll pick any one of these dates because there's a lot of green going on in this, where it shows all the good prices. Okay, hold on.
Mostly the green is going from me to them.
Ah! Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm here. What is that? I'm here every night.
I'll be here all week. Yeah.
I'm here stranded in Singapore.
I'm here all week. I can't leave.
But I found it where it just goes through those. Here it is right here. Here you go. It's on June 15th which, by the way, would give you enough time for them to process your paperwork anyway. You're going to the office anyway on the 30th, so that's still giving you 2 weeks from there, right? It's $442, and it's an 11-hour flight. It goes from Singapore. It's a Macau. It's Singapore to Pudong, to the Pudong airport in Shanghai, and it goes through Macau. It's a 4-hour layover in Macau.
But I don't think you can connect to Macau.
Why? Wait, what? Oh, was it Macau?
They're just not letting. Yeah. Or if you want to say the Chinese, it's all men.
Do what?
All men. You can say Macau. Never mind. The Chinese word is different because it's a European name.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, look, first of all,
You're like, what?
I didn't even know where that was because the way it's spelled and the way it looks doesn't look Chinese at all to me. That's why I was like, what? I had to literally look it up. Yeah, I was like, excuse me, where is this?
Yeah, it's a former Portuguese colony, so obviously the word is French.
Yeah, and that's why it looks like owl, because all the Portuguese pronunciations of stuff has a lot of owl for AU stuff. I mean, it does. But wait, why can't you connect in Macau?
Well, unless it has changed recently, they're just not allowing people to connect.
Are you sure?
I mean, if you can find something different, I would be delighted. But I ruled them out early on because I read that they were not allowing passengers to connect through their airport.
Well, here, let me look at it. Okay. Not required. Online health declaration, medical screening. What would we call it? They were calling it something else. That's what kills me, is I hate all the different terminology to find the actual. It's not layover. They're not calling it a layover. They're not calling it a connector. They call it something else.
They're not calling it a connector?
No, it's not called. Not this. This one's called a stop. First of all, on the airport thing, but it stopped connector layover, but it's not any of those. It was some freaking thing that the lingo that they're using to get me the information that I've gotten before, and I can't believe I can't remember now. Hold on. I will find it because this is killing me. And I'll tell, and when it pops up, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah. And it's a simple word, and it's a word that people are using incorrectly, which is why they should be using stop, layover, connector flight. Duh. I hate people. Right. Okay. Entry restrictions or entry requirements and restrictions. That's what I'm gonna do here. Here we go. And
that's a good view. Wow. Let's just be drawn by the view.
It looks like it's a little bit like the Jetsons. I'm sorry, this is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I mean, lots of cities have skylines. There's nothing particular about this one that is spectacular, except the fact, I think it's actually the water. It's the way it comes up to the water, and all the buildings are clustered right there. And just makes it really cool. That's just a good skyline. It's good for pictures. This is a good spot. If anybody comes to Singapore, if anybody comes to Singapore, like that, may not happen. Maybe no one will ever come. Sorry, if anyone watching this video ever comes, the way that you get here is you come to the Marina Bay Sands shop, the shop at Marina Bay Sands, which is a big site. Anyway, come stand right under this thing, which is the Science and Arts Museum. That's where I'm at. And get your pick. I'm saying that, but I have not actually found a way to get around this stupid Louis Vuitton building. That is not cute. It's blocking the damn picture. Look at that.
My God. And that's an eyesore. Thanks,
Louis. It's not that attractive. That is not a good way to advertise people that what looks good or aesthetic. I'll take a big but ugly building, stick it in the water right in front of the place where people want to take their pictures of the city. And that is a beautiful skyline otherwise, though. Well, I'm still walking, so we may get to a spot that's good. Or better, at least. And I feel
Okay.
like they're right in the spot where everyone would want to be. Look at the picture. Okay, what were you okay?
I mean, it looks like you should be able to go through there.
Okay, so Macau looks open to you.
It says
Maybe
right here,
I look.
this is updated on the 23rd this month, so 3 days ago. It says you have to provide a negative COVID test taken within what is their thing? Blah 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 viral test within 1 calendar day of travel. Guess what? You're going to have it because China requires it too. Haha! And this
Right,
is an 11-hour flight. Alternately, travelers from United States may provide documentation from licensed healthcare. That's if they've had COVID within 3 months. They're allowed to just say, "Here, I've had COVID." China's like, "No, sir, you're going to go to quarantine." Let me see. Entry and exit starting May. Blah 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 blah. Travelers from mainland Amazon. Let me check. Let me make sure because I'm going to check every page I can find because, like, I know that there's going to be a beyond difficulty with flights going in and out of Taiwan. Like this is fresh turmoil going on. Like just yesterday.
Well, I mean, there are still flights in and out, so it's not like they canceled all flights, but it does seem like they may be connected, like they're reducing the number of flights, and so any future flights are gonna
a leg of a flight. I would not trust that Taiwan being included on it. But let me see.
Somehow I kind of suspect that's why it was cheap in the first place because they were like, nobody else wants to try because I'm just desperate. So I'm like, yeah, if I can afford it, then send me through that war zone. Terrific. But which is not yet, and hopefully will not become one. I don't want to think that like it's gonna happen, but I strongly suspect it won't. I suspect there's a lot of posturing going on, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Yep.
I don't think we've had interviewers today.
Well, here's something from April. I'll look at that too. What is that sound? Oh, that's on your end. I thought there was something in here doing a little chirpy chirp because you never know. We live out in the woods.
I might be coming through the software. There's nothing chirping on this one.
Okay, yeah, it was just a little. It sounded almost like a cricket. So I was like, oh no, I gotta save it before the cats get it.
Okay. I can't believe you have cats, but you still try and save crickets. Seems like you're working at cross purposes.
Read the country page. COVID-19. Again, though, I'd love to state this. This is so freaking funny. How ironic, how hypocritical. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has determined that Macau has an unknown level of COVID-19. Same CDC in the U.S. Thank you. Nobody's even able to test here anymore, you twats. Oh, my God. Okay. And nobody's able to really fully report because everyone's doing a lot of, like not inefficient, but they're not as efficient as PCR tests. So they're doing these ART tests at home. They're antigen tests, the rapid. And so they're about as helpful as like a flu test back in the day. So like 60 to 70% correct efficacy.
Oh.
So yeah. And so, but it's still detecting it though. You see what I'm saying? So if it's still detecting it, then it's still rampant. But whatever. We got the economy back, y'all. But okay, if you decide to go to Macau, okay, okay. Here we go. Read the country information page. Thank you. That's what you people should have put on here before. Nobody cares about what you say, CDC and the U.S. government. Thank you.
Yeah, I had to stop going by them. Because you literally read stuff on the State Department's page that say you shouldn't go to China because they have arbitrary enforcement of their COVID rules. I'm like, yeah, but they have the enforcement and you don't. So
you gotta have to enforce the rules for anything to actually happen. People, like, oh, here we go.
Mind-boggling. Like, what are they thinking?
Quick facts.
I guess they still have the position that on the whole COVID issue, the U.S. has done a super duper job, and there could be no improvements.
It's that mission accomplished bullcrap. It's not.
Yeah.
It's accomplished. I haven't even looked at the death toll.
We killed everybody.
Like, I'm like, yep, it's all good. It's 1,030,000. 1,030,000 people dead.
Wow.
In 2 years.
And that's with the revised counting, right?
Yeah, that's without us counting. Yeah, that's with revised for whatever they're willing to tell you. Not that I'm going to be all conspiracy theorist and everything, but there's plenty of people that.
I mean, they changed the way that they were counting things specifically to
reduce the amount,
make the numbers go down.
Yeah. So, because they're like, well, they had these conditions, and I'm like, they had pre-existing conditions that would not have normally killed them had they not contracted COVID. And that is why they died of COVID. That's why my dad, whose brain and lungs were shut down because he had cancer. So they didn't say he died from brain and lung failure. He died from cancer because it made them shut down. So, I mean, duh. But whatever way people can get their brunches and because it's not just the conservatives, but whatever any selfish person wants to just bebop around at like anything's okay.
Right. Well, maybe you don't realize, Erica, those people have health care. So
not all these people. We're talking about nobody has health care here. You know what I'm saying?
I meant the people who
Oh, you mean the government at large? Yes, they have subsidized health
people in control.
Yeah,
people who actually make decisions. The poor slobs that are rooting for the virus to spread and don't have health care. They don't. I don't want to make too many excuses for them, but they obviously have no clue what's going on.
No,
and they're just tuning into their
ignore it or deny it. So
yeah, we really have not gotten into how bizarre this has all looked. This has all seemed watching it from Asia, where rich and poor countries have shut down and gotten control of the virus. Have done everything they possibly could to get control of it. And there's not an attitude here.
Control of it, even though people are foaming at the mouth about how China is locking down people. But what they don't realize is there's millions upon millions of people there that they're saving by doing so.
Exactly. The estimate out of Shanghai, if they had not locked down and did not, actually, this was only like a week ago that they released this. They said if we release the lockdown today, the spread, then it'll start to spread, even though there's only a little bit right now. And then it will start to spread, and the death toll that they estimate would be 2.2 million just out of Shanghai. And of course, if it spread in Shanghai, it wouldn't stay in Shanghai. It would spread around the rest of the country, which is why they're locking it down.
Which by way of global travel and this globalist freaking society in general, what happens if it spreads like wildfire in China again? Oh, I know, it comes back over this way too. But guess what? We're just a breeding ground for it already. So it's like, just stop. Like China is actually protecting us by protecting themselves.
I agree. Yeah.
But don't forget that there are people over here that believe that China created it to all. So, you cannot argue with insanity and xenophobia and ignorance. Like you can just legislate it away as much as you possibly can. But right now what we've done is we brought in what the only good alternative is, and it ain't that great. It's like, it's like a poop sandwich
current administration
instead of a poop sandwich with like
extra poop.
I don't know, extra beating a day. It was like I just hate it. I hate it. But here though, Macau. You only need a visa to get into Macau if you're going to be there for more than 30 days. If you're laying over, then you're fine. And also it says, neat. Okay, yeah. So you could actually go there for a couple of weeks and be okay. But you don't have to. But it says a passport valid for at least a month before the day that you're going to be there. And this is just for actually being in there. I just figured if it's okay for you being in there, you could definitely lay over there. So let me look at security health.
I could have told you it's easy to get into Macau. Yeah, no problem there, except for COVID restrictions. That's what you were looking at before.
Right. Here's the COVID restriction up here. When you go to the one that I found for May, this is back in April. I wanted to go back and see if there's anything that's changed from it. It says air quality, disease, blah 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 blah. Show proof of vaccination for COVID. And then that other part here. Let me scroll back up here. I'm still cracking up about reconsider travel to there. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. If you decide, yeah, departments. Here we go. Department of State's COVID-19 page. Is that for here? Because I don't care about what you say here. Thank you. CDC, who celebrated the fact that 75% of the people that died that were vaccinated had pre-existing conditions, except for, you know what? About 70% of the country has these pre-existing conditions.
Right, that's the thing. They're putting anything in pre-existing conditions, including obesity, which has been epidemic of the United States for decades.
And so it's basically them saying, we not only don't care about the disabled and the elderly and children because we haven't done anything to mitigate it for them, but also if you have any kind of, if you're overweight, like the thing that they talk about obesity, there's been people that were like maybe 30, 40 pounds overweight and they're just dropping dead too, because that's still considered obese within a certain range. Okay. And it's just because of the way their bodies are fighting it or whatnot. There's been probably thin people that have died of it too. And then there's, pre-existing conditions like any kind of liver. There's another thing called that we don't have healthcare here. So a lot of these people don't even know that they have these conditions. So they could have liver or heart problems, anything that it just seems like, okay, fatty liver disease. 30% or more of the people here have that, but also children have that here now because of high fat and high sugar diets in the United States. And the CDC quietly released a little thing about kids getting hepatitis here, and two of them, all of these kids that had COVID, but they're like, we just don't know how they got this hepatitis, and I just don't get it. Previously, before COVID-19, these kids weren't getting it. I don't understand why. So they were trying to blame it on anything but that, and then they were like, well, we just don't know, and obviously it's not like these kids were asking for it, nor does anyone that has any underlying condition deserve to die of COVID when their country can do something to mitigate it. But
when something could have been done, that's the thing. And here China is the only country, I mean, not the only country, sorry. China is the country that's doing the most to get control of it. They obviously seem to be willing to go the farthest control of it. And that's the place at the State Department. It's so transparent. It's like they're like, don't look at what they're doing because they're the devil. So just don't even pay attention, and you just all have to die of COVID.
Because they know that everyone here is xenophobic, and there's this American exceptionalism that they've been, spoon-fed since they were in elementary school, which is their first little taste of the pledge and all this kind of crap.
Right.
So, people just believe that it's better here than elsewhere, even though they've never even left their freaking hometown and been anywhere out of their state. They have no clue. I haven't, but I'm also not an asshole that shuts in and doesn't, look into everything I possibly can. I've never been able to leave. I've left the Southeast, but I've only been to DC and Maryland, and that's it. And then, but I managed to somehow not be a rabid racist, xenophobic asshole. Whatever. Okay. Macau COVID restrictions. I'm just looking to make sure. Okay. Because let's look. Well-fitting mask.
I'm sorry, I know it's not the best thing for the stream, but I'm headed to this bench.
Yes. That's the best thing for you. So definitely do it because I like the idea. Had I not been walking nonstop for 2 days, I probably would not have, a lot of problem doing the walk we just did. But if you didn't notice, there was no shade in that last part. This is definitely a place to come in the evening if you're going to do a walk. That was like I feel sweaty watching you walk around.
I feel sweaty as well. Whereas I am sweating, dripping sweat. We were gonna finish. I was gonna go on around. I don't know if you can see off in that direction. There's supposed to be some restaurants, some nice restaurants. out there that way. But I don't know that we're gonna make it. I'm at 20. Oh gosh, I'm at 21% battery. So I like to stop at 20 because I still have to get back to the hotel. Um, mm,
Okay,
so
I found it, Wesley. Travelers arriving from extremely high-risk destinations, and that would be obviously like from us, if they're considering you because you have a U.S. passport, right?
mhm.
US, or you'll have a US. I don't understand how they're doing it because from China, they're having it. Let me go back up here. China, they present a negative test and then they can just get through and they can have a negative test within 48 hours. However, for high risk areas like US, it says that you'd have to have, let me see, returning, blah, 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 blah. Must present, get this one, at least 3 nucleic acid test results taken at least 24 hours apart within 5 days of departure. That means
Right.
that your 2 that you need for China are already good, right?
Okay.
So you could literally get one the day before you're going to do the 48-hour one for China, and you'd have enough to get through there, and it's only $65 because it's not going to be a rushed one. Well, 65, yeah, 65 because Singapore dollars. Yeah. And you wouldn't be quarantining because you're not staying. And now let me see what terminal they say you have staying because I want to make sure. So that would be a lot better because this, if you could do it, let me see. Because then you can
Okay.
leverage this. Like, what did you talk to them about at Kiwi? Did you say, hey, you're going to give me my,
It's all automated. You don't talk to anybody. We just send you an automated message that says your shit was canceled. Would you like to just do nothing or get a refund? And I click get a refund.
okay.
That itself infuriates me because you should be able to get a refund for just the one segment and leave the rest in place just in case I can use them. Because if I can't get a refund for them,
they have to do the whole thing. Yeah, I read that. Oh crap! Can you redo the thing? Because I saw that you have to apply to get the refund, right? So if you had to apply to do that, what if you contacted them again and they just gave you credit?
I did the refund. Is that the first question?
Yeah, you did the refund, but I mean, what if they could give you a credit or give you a free flight? I know they said that on their list, but I know I was like, ha ha ha, like, right, sure. But what if they could give you the credit just for this one flight? You see what I'm saying? And then go ahead and proceed to do the refund for the rest, or give you a freaking credit for all of it, and then you'd have money for a flight later or something.
I mean,
Anything where you can recover.
I think the most likely outcome is that I'll get a refund for the part that was actually canceled by the airline, and then credit for the rest, or nothing, possibly nothing for the rest.
Oh no, they're required. I looked at their page. They have to give you a freaking refund. I will keep on at them. I already found this crap, and I'm like, no, you suck butts. Here,
but
hold on.
The thing is, they've built in that they don't have to do anything for 6 months. You know.
Right. They're not going to give you, like, they'll have to give you something, but they're definitely going to drag ass to do it. But that's why I was saying try and get a credit up front so you can get the flight. But if you could get this flight anyway for like $400, but I still want to make sure about the Macau. Okay, let me see.
Erica, I'm going to let you keep working on that, and I'm going to wrap up the stream to anybody who's watching in the future. We didn't get any viewers today. Maybe because I changed it at the last minute, if I did do that.
Oh, yeah, you made it to the thing. Well, it's an update.
I had no idea where I was. Yeah, it's an update episode. So if you watch this far, then wow, you're really interested in my travel plan. And if you are, then you need to subscribe to the channel because this is what I do, at least for the foreseeable future. I just come on and say, here's the thing that changed the last episode. If you watch this far and you don't know what's going on, I am winding my way through Southeast Asia in an attempt to get back into China. It's during COVID. I hope it's the end of COVID, and you know, in retrospect we can say that, but what's going on, and it's still hard to get through countries and hard to get flights and things get canceled, and I'm just trying to get back into China right now. I am I completely lost my train of thought. I am exhausted. How about that? I am exhausted. I've been overnight busing and sleeping in pods and trying to get things booked. And I mean, there seems to be progress. We listened to some of it today. So if you're interested in this, and it can be a comedy of errors sometimes, subscribe to the channel and check out the Patreon. Like we were saying, if we end up doing any more hips, hopping through, I was going to suggest in this episode, before you said you found that with Macau, I was going to suggest we repeat the flight that I had just had canceled, but do it by doing one segment at a time, like fly to Manila and stay a couple of days until there's a cheap flight to Taipei, and then fly to Taipei and stay a couple of days until there's a cheap or cheapish flight to Shanghai. But if we can get through Macau, that's much better. So anyway, whatever happens coming up, we're here in Singapore today. I'm heading over to the Malaysia side of the border, and we'll be back in Singapore later. And over the next few weeks, we'll be doing episodes like that if you want to keep up with it. And you want to see me do some stuff. There's cool stuff here, but we had to just stay off of everything that costs money because we don't have any Patreon subscribers. But if we got some subscribers, we could show food. We could show food that isn't, ramen noodle out of a package. We could show food. We could show some of the sites here. We could show a lot of stuff. So consider subscribing to the Patreon. Share this video with your friends or other videos. I mean, today we saw some cool stuff, but honestly, I just felt like, because of right now, I guess, I feel like I spent the entire morning walking in the sun. So maybe it came out better. I mean, I hope we got some good shots while we chatted. We chat about travel and my situation. We chat about other things. We chat about the pandemic, of course, and it's basically a chat show on wheels, and I just roll us around and show us cool stuff in the world while we chat. And if you want to support that and you think it's an interesting idea, then go ahead and look at that Patreon, share with friends, follow me on social media. And forget anything, Erica?
No, and if they come on and they can interact with us, because we're the cool kids. Don't you want to just come and talk to us? No, seriously, you can come on and talk.
Well, at the high end, yeah, you get invitations to the actual stream, so you can be on the show at the top level of the Patreon. Mm-hmm. But anybody watching can join by putting in comments. That's why we do it live. We want to get comments from the peanut gallery, and our history fans that liked having our more historically themed episodes, they have not been tuning in recently because of the issues with the visa, and that's what every episode has been about. And hopefully we'll get back to doing some nice historical sites soon. But that maybe that'll be the next one that comes up, and you should enjoy it. Or whatever video is next, enjoy the next video.
Jag är Peter och de här kommer då se upp som personer som tar över. Jag är med sig